and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do something a bit different, less of a roleplay and more of a kind of makeup tutorial, but ASMR, because sometimes I do listen to makeup tutorials for the soothing aspect of it. So I was on and off sick for the last 3 weeks, so I look really tired and I have huge eye sacs. So what I was going to do today is show you a bit of when I do actually want to wear makeup, kind of my routine. I don't do it every day because I'm too lazy for that. So I'll show you the removing it to brighten the face, and also show you what I tend to do when I actually put eyeshadow also. Yes, and I'll show you the different brands I use, but nothing is sponsored, it's just the things I actually use. Yeah. So I have kind of a weird skin because I have eczema all over my body, even if actually now with the treatment I'm taking it's invisible, let's say. So my entire body tends to be quite dry. I use this Aveeno cream and it's worked wonders for me for my eczema, but every eczema is different, so that's what worked for me and is still working. But the weird thing is that I actually have oily skin on the top of my head. So what I usually do, first of all, the headband, is I use this micellar water. I just found it in a supermarket, and basically it's a cleansing toning lotion, and I basically just remove especially the nose and under the eye, but I don't tend to go lower because lower I have kind of dry skin. That's why I can never really shave. I always have to have some tiny beard, because if not it would be it would itch too much. So I'm not very gentle with my skin, so maybe not the best example for other people. Yes, and usually what I do, so I will sometimes use this cream. I know that you're not supposed to put cream because it's too thick on your face, but well, so what I put under the eyes for kind of prepping the skin is I put this creamy eye treatment with avocado from Kiehl's, and I bought it in Lisbon, so it has the thing, I don't know if you can see, and it's really good actually. I find it's helped my skin under my eye a lot, and like that I can put makeup products without risking of the actual products being directly on the skin. And I know I'm supposed to be doing this, but sometimes I'm too lazy, and when I want to be fast I just do it quickly. Yes, so I've organized my makeup brushes in this really nice handmade how is it called? I can't remember now. Thing that I bought in Mauritius, and then I put all my travel makeup basically when I want to in this pouch also, and it's made, I don't know if you can see, but it's made of the old films from TV commercials. It's pretty cool because I have everything inside, the basics basically. So I want, what I like doing is to, for the pores to be slightly less visible, I use the Pore Professional. I think a lot of people are using it. This is the tiniest tube they have, and I just basically, especially on the nose, because I have larger pores, and then I basically smooth it with my hand. I'm not entirely sure if you're supposed to be using a brush for this, but I always find that it's the trade-off between time and, you know, when I'm doing this I don't necessarily have much time, and I don't take the time to do. And then to color correct the dark under my eyes, I actually use this what's the name of the, I think it's Benefit Cosmetics. It is kind of retro that you see quite often in Sephora and at the airport. And I asked someone, because I was trying different eye correctors for under the eye, but because I have dry skin, they recommended this one, which is number 2 in my case, and basically it does both. It does the kind of orangey texture to color correct the blue and purple that I have quite a lot, and it also matches the skin color, so it's kind of a combination of the skin corrector and the concealer, and it comes in this kind of cream. And for that I actually have my brushes, so I use a MAC 286S. People do that, so I'll do it also. The MAC brushes are really expensive, but I had bought some that were less expensive before, and they kind of, you know, when I was doing the eyeshadow, they were actually hurting, whereas I decided, and because I could afford them, so I decided to buy some MAC, a few ones, and the difference is like, it doesn't actually, you know, it's not violent on your skin, so it's actually kind of nice. And even if I'm still unsure exactly, this is supposed to be for concealer, but I'm still unsure exactly how you're supposed to use it. But anyway, so the thing I do is, as you can see, I have really deep set eyes, so when I do eyeshadow I actually do the reverse than a lot of people do. And here it's not only just the eye color, but it's also that I have kind of a dent, so it's So basically, when you illuminate with light, actually you realize that a lot of this that is created here, which appears really dark, is actually a shadow because of the light. So there is some blue, obviously, but also there's a lot of shadow that accentuates the darkness. So when I put it on, I actually don't. So I will correct the affected area. I will put a bit everywhere, just to, maybe I put too much today, but what I'll do is actually will accentuate that part here, which to put more a lighter color exactly there where the shadow is, so that actually when you look at me, it's kind of it creates less depth in that sense. So yes, I forgot to do that. Yes, usually I put it on my hand. That's why I have too much product. I haven't been doing makeup for ages. And when I have too much, I just use my hands also. Also because I'm looking at myself in the on the camera. I hope I will do a good job, because it's not the best for So if I do this, and then what I'll do here is I'll go back here where there's this depth, and as you can see, the fact of putting more here, I think you can see it like this. There's this shadow here, and so I'm really trying to reduce that shadow, so that when the light falls on it, it's not as so you see so you can still, so this is, the blue is corrected, but you can still see the shadow there, and that's why I always look tired most of the time. Even if you sleep really well, it's because of this shadow that really accentuates that. So it's very difficult to you look like sick most of the time, or tired. So makeup has been a nice way when I want to take the time to give me more confidence, and especially if I'm going to meetings and stuff like that. So you can really tell here versus here, it's I feel I look really sick here because I'm just not used to seeing myself like that. But that's why also I wear makeup to kind of brighten the eye, because the deep set still is a problem. And so I do that so I put it here, and then here. So I go on top a bit, not too much, because I will use eyeshadow primer for the top, but just so it blends nicely. And then I go again with the finger. And this is, I think, something that even if you're a man and don't want to wear makeup, this is so subtle in a way that if it's well done, if you blend well, it shouldn't be visible. And so, and anyway, even if you're a man, you can wear makeup. I think there's a lot of stigma of, masculinity and this kind of thing. Okay. I think that's... So I already look fresh than before. So, important thing is to set it with powder. I buy that in Germany, in DM. I have loose powder, but actually this one is organic, and it's really practical when you're going, when you're traveling, because it fits in this pouch. So very practical. And what I use is this brush that I bought ages ago, and it's super cheap, and it's actually quite soft. So I do this. So I put, a bit of the product, tap tap tap, and then I apply it gently. So when I was first doing this, I had this tendency of pressing too much, and I was basically removing the layer underneath. That, or I was also removing it too soon because I didn't have time. So yeah, tap tap tap, and then a bit more. And the powder, the setting powder, is really important to block, there's the cream, because if you don't, then it will, after 2 hours, you won't have any. And if you rub your eyes, which is very difficult for me not to, so since I've been wearing makeup, I have learned not to touch my eyes, or if I touch it, it's very gently. It's a new art to learn. But yeah, basically that's... And so if I was going for just that, freshening up the look, I would just go for that. So I don't usually put any blush or stuff like that. There's no real reason. I know I look quite white there, and I could use some bronzer or, but I just haven't started playing with it, so I'm not going to show you something that I haven't done yet. And then I use this, can't remember the name. It has a specific name. And there I would just remove that. I won't do it now because I'm going to apply eyeshadow, but I'll show you afterwards. So basically, if you wanted to just make it look less tight, I would just go for that. But most of the time when I do that, I also like putting eyeshadow here. So because I have deep set eyes, the techniques, which is usually to put dark on the eyelid and then lighter around here, for me it doesn't work, because basically what I have, if I do that, it just doesn't work. So what I have to mimic is putting lighter color on the eyelid or something shiny that brings the color out, so that this eyelid actually appears closer here, and so the dark would be here to really accentuate the lighter color here, so that to make my face appear more well, my eyes stand more linear instead of really deep set. So in order to do that, I use Urban Decay eyeshadow primer lotion. The reason being is that I actually really like the palette which I have here. So I use the Naked Reloaded of Urban Decay. So basically I just went for their eye primer at the same time. And so I basically do this on both lids. I'm not very careful. As I said, I'm not a professional. I have no idea how you correctly apply this, but this kind of works for me. So, and then I use my finger. I basically use my finger because I honestly want to use a brush that would absorb the product. I mean, obviously when you use your finger there's some, but I find you use more products when you're using a brush. So, and same thing as the beauty blender would really absorb the product, so you would have to use more. Okay. And then, so as I told you, I bought over a few months different brushes. So I didn't buy everything in one go because I actually waited during a sale. So those two were Kit Stars S30 that I bought at Drag World 2 years ago in the UK, and they were really useful and really cheap. But the thing is that, you know, when you're applying your eyeshadow, it kind of was a bit painful after a while, and so I decided to invest and buy in a bigger one, actually from MAC 224S, and it's just so soft. So basically I use this one more for the transition color and then the darker color, and then I will still use this one to clean and blend, because I didn't want to buy some that I already had. So the makeup brushes I bought from MAC were actually from recommendations from a video that Tati made, you know, the YouTuber, and I haven't been disappointed because they've been really good in terms of application and smoothness on the body, on the face. The other brushes I bought at different times was, so first was the 239S, which is basically and I'll show you, but you basically, that's for the eyelid, that's where I put my lighter color. So this one is more for the transition color, darker color. I kind of use the same. And then I use a combination of the 228S and the 208S to do the under the eye. So I tend to use this one So the one that is on a base to draw it here, and this one to kind of smoothen it. And this one I bought 219S. I bought this one because I already had one, but it was so painful, especially that one. It was like really hard. I don't use it that often, but it's more to do the inner eye basically. So now I can show you. So what I do is I tend to leave the powder here. The reason being that if I have any fallout from the eyeshadow, I can just wipe it just after. If you remove that and then it falls, you might have to do again all your foundation. No, that you can actually do your eyeshadow first and then do this afterwards. I do the reverse bit. I think it might make more sense to do it the other way around. So in terms of the Naked Reloaded, nice colors. Oh, and you can see the camera. You can see my camera setup. So what do I do usually? Yes, so I go for Boundaries, which is not the lightest color. It's this one, because it matches quite well what I do in terms of darker and so I do Boundaries, so take it, tap it, and then I start in the middle. So in the middle but lower, so kind of already just above my eyelid, so not too high, because the transition color, as I mentioned, the lighter color is really on the eyelid, and then the darker is really here, and the rest we don't want too dark going down. So basically, and then do the normal swiping movements. And since I can't see anything in the reflection of the camera, I have no idea how it's going to look at the end. But you'll get the idea. And the same thing here. I always start in the middle and then swipe on both, and then swipe both sides and then go for it. So I'm not applying it on the eyelid, I'm really applying here above the eyelid. So there's still this whole space here that will be dark, and then the eyelid here will be light. I tend to not put too much at this step, because you don't want to add too much product, because then you add layers and layers. You can always add more afterwards if you want to make a blend. And so what I do is I can't remember, to be honest. I think I use retro, so I used red, and I start more on the outside. Because I like having this warm, earthy tones, so more on the golden, red, orange tones. But I like some shimmer, especially on the eyelid, obviously, but also on the upper part. And so then once I'm done with this one, I will extend it slightly. So the thing with the deep rooted iris, this distance actually is not that great, but here there's a huge distance that you basically do not see. So most of the time this is mostly transition color, and then the upper darker color is really in a notch just under the eyebrows. Same thing here. I think this lighting is not the best. Makes me look really white. And so what I do then, so as you see, I'm reusing the same one because I don't have that many, but I'm always doing from lighter to darker, and the shimmer last, because as soon as you put shimmer here, it will put shimmer everywhere. So now I go for Reputation, which is this one. It's a really nice brown earthy color that I put here and all over basically, and this will add some shimmer to the eye. So I'm not doing anything dramatic, it's a really simple touch basically of color. So as you can see now, well, here my eye is lighter now because I've added the darker color here. It really pushes down, so I really need to put that lighter color here to bring this eye back up. I'll just do this eye. And what I'll do is I'll take this other brush that I mentioned before. I kind of blend the transition color and those ones. So I'm not really doing a gradient, but more a blend of different colors. So it's not a very elaborate look, where it's transitioning from one to another, but I like it nevertheless. So I don't know if you can see. No, you can't. Yeah. What I do sometimes is I take this brush and I will add a bit of, I think it's burn, and I'll just add a tiny amount here to define the brow. I never do anything to my brow. Same is because I've never tried it out yet. Same, and then buff it out. And then same here. So for the lid, what I usually do in two different ways. So I have sugar pill, eyeshadows, and so sometimes when I really want to pop this eye, what I'll do is I'll use their white. So because we have two sides on this one, I use one side for instance, the gold that I'll do, and then another one for the white. So I know you're kind of not supposed to be using the brushes that much, but I mean, it works. And so what I do is I do this, so you're really pressing down, not, like that. And then pressing on the eyelid. And as you can see, and I'm really following the eyelid shape. And so as you can see, maybe you can't see it yet. Maybe not yet. What you should see is that it basically make, and then you see the difference, and I don't think it's very accentuated, maybe with the gold and the shimmer. So the white will bring colors, they'll appear more striking because you've put this layer of lighter color. And so if I go back to my thing, what I do is barely bake it, which is a golden color. So I reverse it, and same thing, I'm here retaking the product on the side and then applying it. And so sometimes I do gradients on the eyelid, but today I'm just going for the usual thing, the entire eyelid. Okay, a bit more. And the other thing I do is, so I do this first layer, and what I do next, so as you can see now, maybe because of this light is easier, but you can really see there, the light is it brings the eye, instead of being really back, it brings it a bit forward. It is, I'm still learning, it's still difficult with deep set eyes, but I think it's work in progress, let's say. And the other thing I do to accentuate the color is I bought this matte finish from NYX Cosmetics. So basically what I do is I do the same, I packet the color and then I spray on the and then I apply it, and that will really bring the color like much more intense. And I do that again, to really have this golden kind of metallic eyelid. And then as you can see here now, we really have this, especially when I'm doing here, that the eye appears much closer. Again, same thing. As I said before, because I can't see myself, I have no idea if I'm doing this correctly or not. It's kind of doing it blind. But, so if it looks awful, just know that usually it looks better when I actually have a bigger mirror too. Yeah. So that's for that. Oh, no, the one thing I do sometimes also is I take my sugar pill again, and I will take a bit of the white and just press it in the center. Just in the center. This creates it's kind of this play on light. If you have this lighter color in the middle, it brings the eye even more. And other thing I do now is I usually, so I don't put eyeliner, but I eyeline basically with I think it's a very good question. I think it's a reputation actually. I think I use the same thing here to do here. So I use this one. It's the 208S. And this is going to be tricky. Basically, as if I was using eyeliner, aligning with the eyeshadow. What I do to be more stable is I actually put one finger on my face instead of, so it's more stable if you do it like that. I cannot see anything I'm doing, so I do apologize. And then I do this also on this side. And above. Oops. Anyway. And then I use that one, which is the 228S, and basically I buff it out, I blend it so that it's not a straight line, but it appears more like a smooth ombre. And there we have it. So basically now I can remove the eyeshadow underneath, the sizing powder underneath. What I do also is I fix it with this matte finish. I won't do it today because it's actually evening and I want to remove it. But yeah, the one thing, I think it looks awful, but normally it looks better. The one thing I said I don't use bronzer or any type of powder, but what I do is I always add one of my collection of lipsticks, lip liner. One that, so I have a lot of sugar pill ones, but this one actually for my birthday, some friends bought me this Sephora pack that had this included this gingerbread man matte lipstick, and it smells so good. You actually want to eat it, and the color is really beautiful. It's just, it actually smells like gingerbread. But so with a beard, it's always a problem. I always leak. I don't know if you know this trick, but you just put a finger and it just removes and it doesn't stain your teeth. And yeah, basically this is the look I tend to go for. So it's kind of, you know, light, and then you have the accent, which is more on the lips. And I think that's all. Yes. Oh no, one thing. Before I was actually cleaning my brushes every time with soap, and I realized the low quality ones actually started deteriorating, and so when I went to Mac, I actually asked what they clean with, and they actually have this brush cleanser. So what they recommended was to put in a spray bottle so that you reduce the amount of product they use. So basically you spray on here, and you just do that, and it actually works really well to remove even the anything like eyeshadow, but also on this brush the product, and it dries super fast, and then your, as you can see, your brushes are good to go. So I didn't used to clean my brushes every time, but thanks to this product now I actually do it. So it means that whenever I want to put makeup on, I'm actually ready. My brushes are all cleaned. So yes. And when I want to remove the makeup, I use basically coconut oil. I just take this coconut oil and it removes nearly everything. I then usually, because my face is quite oily, I tend to also put some really mild soap to remove the oil, and then I put my normal cream, but I find it helps to, because if not, the coconut oil is good at removing oily products, especially like the product here and the eye primer and things like that, and even the eyeshadow. But then to really go in depth for cleaning, it's always best to go with a bit of soap, but not very strong soap, just to remove basically the oil, the excess oil on your face with the coconut oil. I don't know if this kind of videos is something people like. I won't do that many, well, I don't know. I don't think initially I wanted to do that many kind of informal ASMR videos. But they're also kind of nice to just be able to talk naturally and not have to do roleplay. I like those. Yeah, so let me know in the comments if you, I don't know if you prefer roleplays, if you prefer this kind of talking to you thing. I'm always interested in knowing, and hopefully I will be less sick and be able to upload again videos on a more regular basis. It's kind of unfortunate that I was doing quite good, I found, uploading nearly a video twice a week, and then being sick, with fever, I just couldn't, even if I wanted to. So yes, and here we'll just have those ones. I'm nearly finished. Here we go. Perfect. It's me cleaning my brushes. And I think that's it. More or less. In NYX they also have this, so I used the big one, big one, but they actually have 18 milliliters one, which is tiny, which fits so well in the purse, because you don't really need the big amount. Same thing as this, you don't need that huge bottle to clean. Even that's a bit big to travel with, but it's quite good. Yeah, so that's it for today, and I will see you in the next video very soon.